And Dallas, it is all even at 2 apiece as we bring you Game 5 tonight from the San Diego Sports Arena. A pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm John Paul Della Camera. Alongside me is Ty Keogh. For both teams, it's an important game, but really, it's more of a must-win game, Ty, for San Diego and Ron Newman.
This one is about as real as they come. There's no doubt about it. And with San Diego heading for Dallas for the next 2, if they would not be able to come up with a victory in this one, it would make it really tough on them.
It's been a very competitive series and a very physical series as well. Both coaches know that. We talked with both coaches before the start of tonight's game and got their feelings.
Well, tonight's game is very important for us. It's not as important as the second game because that was our second home game. We had to win that just to make it a good effort for the final series. But we must be able to make very few mistakes this game. It's a game where the little things are going to count, and if we make the fewest mistakes, I think we'll definitely come out on top.
Well, I expect the game to be very intense. I don't think either team are going to want to make mistakes and try not to make mistakes. And the team that will win, I think, will be the team that can cash in on either team's mistakes. Certainly, from our point of view, it's very important for us because we don't want to go back to Dallas having to win both games in Dallas. It's very difficult.
If you're thinking about offense and you're thinking about Dallas, you've got to be thinking about Tattoo. He scored 113 points during the regular season. 64 of them were goals. He had a long drought against San Diego, over 280 minutes without scoring a goal. But then in the last couple of games, he's come to life. 2 goals in Game 3 and 1 in Game 4. But when you think about offense on the other side for San Diego, their great name for the last several years has been Branko Segota, but he's not clicking.
And he's normally a big-time playoff performer. Branko Segota is not having a good playoff this year. 94 career goals. That's just in 74 games. So normally he's averaging over a goal a game in the playoffs.
Well, San Diego keeps hoping that tonight will be the night for Branko Segota. We'll see when we come back. We'll have the kickoff up next from San Diego. This is Game 5, and the series is even at 2 wins apiece. Welcome back, everyone, to San Diego for game number 5 in the best-of-7 series. It's even between Dallas and San Diego. And tonight's game is being brought to you by Nestle Crunch. Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why you love Nestle Crunch. And by Budweiser, Beechwood Aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. It is San Diego and Dallas, and there in the huddle, number 24 is Joe Papaleo. He gets the starting assignment. He was a winner in game number 3, a solid 2.07 goals against average, won 1 game and lost 1. He was the loser in game number 1. He put on a great goalkeeper's clinic in game number 3, and so did Papaleo's counterpart in that particular game as well for San Diego, and that was Victor Nogueira. Nogueira still talking right in front of the San Diego bench. He put on a great show as well, really. It was tough to fault either goalkeeper, and it was a shame that one had to lose, but in the end, it was Nogueira who ended up as the losing goalkeeper in that one. We've got a late scratch, and we're going to talk about this during the game. Branko Segota, who was out there for the lineup. There's a look at Victor Nogueira. We'll get to Branko in a moment. That's a solid average as well. He was the MVP in last year's playoff series overall. When Toth was injured, he played in every game and played well. Nothing like home, at least during the regular season. San Diego never lost here, but in the playoffs, they could have lost more than the 1 game that they lost the other night. They could have lost that second game here as well, and in Dallas, Dallas is stronger. Back to Segota, they're talking about a left hip injury, which was a mysterious injury. No one seemed to know anything about it until game time. He was out there, though, for the warm-up. Those are your officials who called tonight's action, with Gino DiPolito and Essie Baharmist on the floor. Game 5 is underway. Lawson was back there with Jaramillo going for it. It's cleared out of play.
Immediately trying to exploit Doc Lawson's speed coming forward from the back on the quick play forward.
Kevin Smith will put it in play. No one of the Sidekicks has played in more games than Kevin Smith, 317 counting playoff action. Lawson and Smith over near the ball. Wes Wade defending. Opening seconds of play from San Diego. Nogueira clears it out, but it's coming back through. Quinn with a block. There's Wes Wade. Wade having some trouble in the neutral zone, deflected to Tattoo. Tattoo on the cut. Fernandez with him. The dish to Lawson. The shot is out of control and way up into the crowd.
Well, we'll see who takes the early upper hand in terms of aggressiveness and physical play. Looks right now that Dallas, they started off with the kickoff, immediately going forward and trying to make chances already with Lawson and Tattoo threatening already.
Nogueira will toss it in. He has Ralph Black there with him. Ralph's dad was a pro player in Scotland and England, so there's some tradition there. Brian Quinn will give it back to Nogueira, who's solid with his feet, as good as anyone in the MISL with his feet. All right, look at the pressure by Lawson. He'll take that foul. And with no more 6-foul rule in the MISL, you'll see players that will do that a lot more often.
Just want to let him know that he's there. Doc Lawson comes to play, and Paul Wright, as the speediest player in the league, you got to make sure that you're in his hip pocket.
Brian Quinn trying to leave it off. Kevin Smith will pick off the errant pass. 14-13 to go. First quarter, scoreless from San Diego. It's sent in long. Nogueira will catch that one in the box and dish off to the team captain, Brian Quinn, who is the soccer's top scorer, and he's second in the league to Dale Mitchell, whose team, by the way, eliminated today 7-2, the loss in Baltimore. Mitchell had a great playoff. Here's Tattoo leaving it off. He tried to anyway from Milano, who overran it. Paul Wright is there. Knocked away to Brian Quinn. San Diego on the attack. Quinn on the stop with Tattoo on it. Ralph Black will give it back to Brian Quinn. Sockers keep that possession. And they'll lose it here as Quinn's pass intended for Paul Wright goes up and out of play. And both teams can take this opportunity to make changes. We look at Joe Papaleo. Number 24, an interesting story. The number on his jersey represents the total of his birth dates added up of his youngest child. And he had a child born to he and his wife this past year. So you add up all those numbers, you come up with 24. He had a different number last year and in the previous year. Papaleo ready to throw. Looking for Salgado. Salgado playing with a brace on his right leg. He's had ice on that knee last couple of days around the hotel area. Wes Wade knocks it free to Gabarra. Knocked away by Wes McLeod. Back in the midfield, Beto knocked away by Wade. To Gabarra. He scored the first goal of the game the other night in game number 4. Here's Hermes, who had the game winner, and it's broken up. Milano taking it back the other way for the Sidekicks in the green and white. Sockers in the blue and white. We've gone a couple of minutes. It is scoreless from San Diego. Game number 5. More of a must-win game, as Ty spoke about in the open, for San Diego, because the next 2 are in Dallas, as Billy Phillips told you earlier. Their pivotal game was in game number 3. They were able to get that home field advantage back. Wes McLeod for Tattoo with Crow. Look at Gabarra come in on the double team. Tattoo getting free into the corner. Nowhere to go. Knocked back and then up too high off McLeod's shot. Nogueira is out of goal. This one may go off the scoreboard. It just misses it, but it lands by the alternate official, and out of play it goes. Gino DiPolito will spot it, and Dallas will take over possession. They'll change up. Mike Powers comes out there along with Doc Lawson. Ron Newman told me earlier today he thinks that Dallas has as solid a group of defenders as anyone in the MISL. They might indeed have the MISL's best back unit. And they're still missing Richard Chinnup, who hopes to be ready for perhaps game 7 in this series. Same with Steve Kinsey, who's out for Dallas, or the finals should Dallas beat San Diego. Papaleo will go long. Kevin Crow intercepts on the header. Powers is in there. Look at Wade and Powers holding on to one another. Lawson bringing it back. A 12-year veteran. He's played in every year for the MISL. And Bahamas, Essie Bahamas, calls a foul on Juan Hermes.
This is a physical play. You see the shoving by Hermes on Doc Lawson, sending him down to the turf.
Hermes with 6 goals in the playoffs. Tattoo will knock it out. Powers lifting it back in, wants Tattoo. Cacho deflects it ahead to Brian Quinn. Back for Hermes. Lawson with a block for Kevin Smith. Tattoo is open to the right corner, but a quick pass doesn't find him, and Hermes knocks it away. San Diego giving that ball away on the unforced error, more so than the high pressure, let's say, for Dallas. Here's Powers. Nice turn by Mike Powers, and Cacho blocks it. Tattoo blocked by Quinn and Crow, and it's back to Nogueira. 11:38 to play. First quarter. Scoreless from San Diego. John Paul Della Camera with Ty Keel. Kevin Crow, 3-time Defender of the Year, slips it by to Cacho. Ahead to Jaramina. He is playing tonight in place of Bronco Segota, scratched mysteriously, we've got to say, before the game for a a left hip ailment. No one was told anything about it prior to it. Here's Papaleo knocking it out for Castro.
That puts even more pressure on Wad Hermes, Brian Quinn, even players like Crow coming forward to generate some scoring. Even though Segoto's not scored in this series, he's still their biggest threat and can draw a lot of attention to leave openings for those other players. And Joe Papaleo talked to us earlier today. He says Segoto's still the one he fears the most.
Castro to Guevara, block. Good block by Salgado, and it's cleared back the other way. Well, Billy Phillips keeps saying it's any day now that he was fearing Segoto would break out of it. So there is still that fear and respect for Segoto. But you know San Diego may play better without him because Bronco's really been struggling. We'll see. McLeod called for that foul. Jaramillo will put it in play. Black with a free shot. He just missed. It may have been tipped on its way in. Guevara with Snyder picking him up. Snyder had his best offensive year with Dallas. So did Mike Powers, and for that matter, Lawson. All the defenders put together better numbers this year going forward for Dallas. Sidekicks coming back. Salgado to Willie Milano. Ralph Black in there with him, so is Guevara. So he'll send it out to Snyder. This is a good Dallas team. They lost 3 games in a row, only 1 time all year. Out to Snyder. In the scoreless game. Milano knocking it into Beto. The turnaround blocked, and a good block it was for Kevin Crow. And a foul called on Beto for getting at Guevara.
And Crow playing in his 83rd consecutive playoff game for the San Diego Sockers. He's not quite 100% yet. He still has some problems with the abdominal muscles. Slight strain of his abdominal muscles.
Says he's feeling better. You could see Ty in game number 4 that he could move better, and you could even see that tonight. It still bothers him, so he is not at 100%. He's still wearing some sort of protection, like a skin diver's outfit, that type of material on his hips to protect himself. Here's Wad Hermes. Hermes across the line, knocked away by Beto. They don't want to give Hermes a shot off that left foot. It's lethal. Off the boards. Snyder blocking it. Billy Phillips said earlier they want to keep San Diego off the board at least for the first 7 minutes of the game and settle into a pattern. And he has just about done that with 9:04 to go in the opening quarter, and it is still scoreless. Here is Lawson. Left footer. Save Noguera. He may not have seen that till the very end. And that pass was too far ahead for even Paul Wright to catch up to. You got to figure if Wright can't catch up to it, it's way too far ahead. Here's Wright. With Hermes in the break, Lawson coming back and helping out. Playing it back to the feet of Papaleo. A clear out, but San Diego gets possession right back.
Papaleo afraid to use his hands on that one because Lawson had played it back to him, he thought, from outside the red line.
Paul Wright in the corner and almost into the boards of the Lawson foul. Paul Wright played in all 52 games this year. Tempers short in the corner. And Gino DiPolito is going to take one off from each side. And why not? Better to control it because it's been a very physical series. Not a dirty series, but a physical series. The other night, Dallas had 30 fouls, 9 on Powers, but yet Dallas complains that San Diego has been too physical.
Well, up to that point in each game of this series, the team that had the most fouls total were the ones that won it. Here's the little altercation. It's McLeod really protecting Papaleo, and he's right up against Hermes. DiPolito steps in and says, see you later, both of you.
Good call. It's time to let everybody cool down in San Diego. The Sockers and the Sidekicks are still looking for the first goal of the game, and so far, in 3 of the 4 games, San Diego has managed to score it. But it doesn't mean you win, because when Brian Quinn scored the first goal of the game in Game 3, San Diego lost that game. Quinn will get the restart. And right now, San Diego looks like they're making a change as Jaramillo goes out. This is the San Diego Sports Arena in San Diego, where the Sockers have been a 5-time MISL champion. Quinn right across, and Concho had an open net. Mike Powers is putting on some pressure, but the shot was there.
Quinn really put that ball straight through, right, just how he wanted. Concho quickly tried to get it off.
Quinn almost had a goal as Papaleo was there. Papaleo today, or yesterday, had to pass a fitness test because he had a pretty good knock on the knee the other night on his right knee, and it was bothering him just a little bit. He felt a little pain, but he did pass a physical fitness test, and everyone cleared him to play. Brian Quinn. He's their leader for San Diego. No question about it. Quinn over the line against Lawson. Lawson tackled Quinn, not the ball. A foul is called. So San Diego will have the restart. 7:49 to go, first quarter. Still scoreless here in San Diego as Brian Quinn goes to take free kick. Just inside the red line. Plays it out to Cacho. Rod Castro lets it go, takes another shot. A knuckleball that Papaleo has no trouble with. Papaleo on the long throw. He thought Lawson would be on the left boards, and Lawson broke to the middle. Two teams are changing up on the fly. Quinn, who is still on, coming through across the line, leaves it up. Fernandez tees it up off the post. Tattoo coming back for Dallas. Across midfield, the game starts to open up with the 4-on-4. Tattoo cutting, giving it up. Mike Powers on the left foot. No shot there. Pulls it back outside for Snyder. He'll run it to the corner off the back of Beto. Back for Snyder. For Tattoo. Looking to spin on Brian Quinn. Tattoo has Snyder open, and Quinn took him down. A tactical foul, to say the least. Well, Tattoo and Quinn shake hands. Good sportsmanship.
Well, you're playing with fire here when Tattoo's setting up. So why take any chances? If the ball's behind you, make sure Tattoo doesn't get behind you as well.
He had a clear pass the other way to Snyder as well. Here's Troy Snyder leaving it off for Lawson. Still 4-on-4 for 26 seconds. Outside goes Beto. Ralph Black takes charge. Good defense by Black. Up the middle for Quinn. Blocked by Snyder. Brian Quinn still with it. Taken away by Troy Snyder. Snyder joined by Carpet on the run, but Snyder didn't see him as Fernandez distracted him. Back for Lawson with Paul Wright. Lawson over on those far boards as Hermes and McLeod come out. Teams are back at 5-on-5. Tattoo. Still scoreless outside to Wes McLeod, who led the MISL with 154 block shots, set a record. In for Kevin Smith. Trying to spin and get free. Plays it out now to Tattoo. Their all-time leading scorer, regular season and playoffs. He draws a crowd wherever he goes. Pulls it out, and Fernandez got the fist up by his face. Well, that's the kind of stuff that really bothers Tattoo. No reason for the arms to flail that high.
That's one way to intimidate him. You see the high arm coming in by Fernandez. I saw Tattoo before the game. He's already got a couple of scrapes on the top of his nose. He said that Quinn gave him the other night.
In the corner, Nogueira. Tattoo in there fighting, along with Ralph Black, and Black will clear it out. Here's a chance for the Sockers. It's Quinn. Blocked again by Troy Snyder. Kevin Smith looking for Tattoo. Nogueira getting in there. Tattoo getting a bump from Ralph Black, and holding him is Black. He lays it off toward Milano. Broken up. 3-on-1. Sockers. Hermes. Cuts it to Quinn. To Wade. It's behind him. He scores!
Pays off for the San Diego Sockers. It's Juan Hermes coming forward. He's got two options. He slots the ball through over to Quinn. Quinn immediately plays it to the opposite side to Wade, but it's behind him. But there's some resourceful work here by Wade. Even though he's on the ground, he spins around and still lifts it past Joe Papaleo.
The first goal of the game is a great one. San Diego leads.
Here it is, San Diego up 1-0 on this goal on the 3-on-1 break. Hermes stutter steps, gets it to Quinn. Quinn to the opposite side to Wade, who doesn't appear to be able to do anything with it. Suddenly spins around, gets under it enough to get it past Papaleo. A little bit of controversy, though, if you want to go back on that goal before the counterattack was set up, because Tattoo had been fouled a couple times at the other end when Dallas had a good chance.
A steal. Ben Collins on the cut. Broken up by Powers, but not all the way. Here's Wade to Gamara. Blocked by Carpin. And now it's Salgado. Cacho sends him down. And now it's Wes Wade. What an electrifying goal, though, by Wade. What was tough about that play, Quinn on his left side, on his left foot, played it across, and it was to the left foot of Wade. If it's on his right foot and it leads him, it's a little bit easier, but it's still a tough pass to make across the grain. But how he scores that off his right foot, he used the right word, resourceful.
I spoke to Wade before the game, and I said, You like this pressure? He goes, what pressure? He goes, nobody really expects me to do much. So here he's got the opening goal.
And it's the 4th time in 5 games that San Diego has scored that first goal of the game. Aramita to Kevin Crow. Across to Castro, 4:37 to go, first quarter. Castro trying to beat Lawson in the corner. He can't do that. And then Lawson got a piece of him apparently in the end, and a foul is going to be called. Castro's had a very impressive first year in the MISL. From the corner, Guevara will put it in play. Looks at far post, headed up by Lawson. Aramita. Tattoo in there, battling. Still battling, right in front of both benches. Back to Nogueira. Look where he's standing at his own red line. On the long clear, Lawson just deflects it for Papaleo. Now to Powers. Mike Powers, slow to bring it up. Now giving it up for Willie Milano. Had 32 goals in his best year with the Lasers, and that's going back about 4 years. Traded even up for Marcio Leite when Dallas and Los Angeles got together to deal. Played back now to Lawson. Deflected by Castro. And right back to Papaleo. McLeod again. Coming off of a career year for Wes. To Lawson, a 5-time All-Star. We're down to 3:40 in the opening quarter from San Diego, and the Sockers lead 1-0 on an electrifying Wes Wade goal. Really from his backside when he scored it at 9:28. Wade from Brian Quinn, and give Hermes a lot of credit in setting it all up. Here's Tattoo against 2. Can't spin away, so he sends it out for Lawson. Lawson took a bump from Castro. They go with the advantage. Knocked away by Guevara. He gets in there in front of Carpet. 3-on-3. McLeod got a piece. Aramita. Left footer, a rocket too high and not by all that much.
The quick release, too, is always so dangerous. He got that one off all at once.
Kevin Smith getting the advantage call from S.U. Bahamas. Good call. Up for Wes McLeod. McLeod looking. Sending it through, and Nogueira just got it.
Slightly deflected on its way in.
And that one is cleared out. Last touch and look by Cacho. Still 1-0. The fans love it in San Diego.
Do you know what open-end mutual funds are?
Baltimore in it for the 2nd year in a row. Will San Diego be there as well? Time will tell. Right now, Dallas enjoys home field advantage, but they'd love to win this one and make it easier. Fernandez in the corner. Beto in the block there. Wes Wade and Tattoo collide. Played back to Ralph Black. Nice stutter step on the Black chip. Upfield for Collins. What a ball from Quinn. He has Wade with him. Blocked by Mike Powers. Powers had the previous sidekick block shots record until McLeod had his record-breaking year. Tattoo with Quinn on him. Right back for Troy Snyder, former All-American at Penn State. Now again, it's Mike Powers. Approaching 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter. San Diego leading it by 1. Lead pass, Kevin Smith. Nogueira just got it by Smith, but not past Milano. Willie on the right foot with the stop. Left foot shot is blocked. Powers and Lawson come in and look out above. Lawson's shot went sailing upward into the crowd here in San Diego, and the Sockers will end up with a goal kick out of this with 1:46 to go here in quarter number 1. It is every bit as physical as the previous games, and Nogueira knows that. Victor's had a fine career indoors. In fact, he had a career-threatening Achilles tendon injury. Some people said he may not come back. Not only did he come back, but he came back and became a better goalkeeper than he was before. And before, he was very solid. Nogueira, born in Mozambique, and has had a fine career indoors. Previously played outdoor soccer in the North American Soccer League. Down to 1:40. First quarter. 1-0 San Diego. Up for Paul Wright. He let it go. He thought Quinn was going to take it. They misread each other. Kevin Smith. Long ball for Lawson. Fernandez in there battling all the way. Lawson owns a black belt in karate, so you don't want to mess with him. Here's Kevin Smith. Back for Lawson. He's double teamed and then got bumped by Quinn. On the touch from Hermes. Quinn may have a breakaway. The speed of Carpet catches him a save. Papaleo. Another right foot right scored.
was a handball. It goes in anyway on the rebound here. Gino DiPolito signals a goal. He does have the blue card out, though, against Mark Carpenter as a warning for that handball. So the advantage was played.
I saw Carpenter block it at the line. I didn't see the hand go up. You could see it clearly there. So it was going to count anyway. All right. Scores the goal. His 4th playoff goal. He's had a 2-goal game in this series in game 1 and a 2-assist game in game 4. So he's done the job. Milano. Sidekicks trail 2-0. Coming back the other way. Ralph Black. Dallas, remember, trailed 2-0 in game 4 here. So it's not over yet, but the Sockers are looking good. Foul is going to be called for pushing on Snyder. A look at Troy Snyder, who's got speed to burn with Dallas. Lead pass, Guevara. Did well to receive that one. 30 seconds left in the quarter. It's been a good one for San Diego. Black trying to make it a better one. Blocked by Snyder. Tattoo getting it back. Here's a chance. Sidekicks. 2-on-2. Now 2-on-3. It's Milano. Cutting. Still looking. One cut too many. Pacho breaks it up. Milano back to West McLeod. They find Tattoo. Outside to Lawson. 4 seconds. Lawson tees it up. Nogueira got that, and he almost got Beto's foot as well as the first quarter comes to an end. They are on their feet in San Diego. Goals by Wade and Wright, and Nogueira and company have a 2-0 lead in game number 5. So far, the Sockers have been unable to dent Nogueira. Quinn with him, Jan Goossens, Hermes, and Ted Eck. And the reason why Quinn is tied, he was second going in, but it does include this game tonight, where Brian Quinn has a couple of assists. The goalkeepers can't ask for much better than what Scott Manning has done for Baltimore. Toth is second, Nogueira third, Dowler and Gorsuch, the Kansas City tandem, are 4 and 5. The hand for the Sockers as they come back. There's Victor Nogueira. He's got a 2-goal cushion, but as everyone knows who's watched indoor soccer, that's not a safe lead by any stretch, although any coach I know would rather be up 2-0 than down 2-0, but you see a lot of comebacks after teams blow 2-goal leads. Nogueira to his own red line. Now giving it up for George Fernandez. Fernandez pass finds Hermes. He tried to dummy it through for Castro. Now it's Fernandez again. Black. Bruno Ferretti, number 20 for Dallas. He scored a goal 9 seconds into a game against San Diego. And the foul is called as Salgado paid the price. Foul on Juan Hermes. Now for Beto. Out to Snyder. Troy Snyder scored a goal against the 6th attacker in game 3 to beat the San Diego squad and regain home field advantage for Dallas. Now for Salgado. He had a goal in game 4, although it was deflected in off of Guevara. Ferretti's low shot is scooped up easily by Nogueira. The long throw. Guevara on the receiving end. Trying to chip it for Castro. It's too far. Castro's shot wide, and McLeod knocks it away. Fernandez for Cacho. Fernandez scored a shorthanded goal in game 4. It was his first ever shorthanded goal, be it regular season or playoffs. Beto stopped. He'll get it back. Right back to the feet of Papaleo. Papaleo going long for Ferretti, and Wes Wade cuts it off. Wes Wade may not get many minutes, but every second he's out there, he works his tail off for San Diego, and the crowd loves him here. Good role player for this team in his first year indoors. Lawson giving it up now to Ferretti. 9:03 to go, first half. Dallas would like to get on the board here. And if nothing else, they don't want to go down by more than 2-0. They haven't done that so far here. Up for Paul Wright. Coming through. Great save, Papaleo. Rebound, Quinn. Another save. What a recovery by Papaleo, who was out several feet and had to go to the right post to defeat him.
He's just shaking his head now. He's seen a little bit more than he'd like to see out in front of him.
Cacho giving it up now to Brian Quinn. Dallas, to my recollection, has not trailed at all by 3 in this series. There's Milano, knocked away, and Beto is there. Well, were it not for Papaleo, they would be down by 3. He made 2 brilliant saves. Tattoo has it tackled away by Crow. Oh, the Raspberries are going to come out, and there's a foul or a penalty on Lawson, and Tattoo's upset about something. Paul Wright is up limping.
And Tattoo still speaking to Gino DiPolito, protesting the call. And he's frustrated because he takes so many hits himself. Paul Wright took one there, got dumped to the turf by Lawson. Lawson was a little late on the tackle. Here he is. Wright just flicks it away. Lawson comes through anyway and catches Wright along the ankles and takes him down.
6:48 is the time of the penalty. Paul Wright going off. I was joking today with Ron Newman, and I said, did you ever think, Ron, of declining the power play? Because they've not scored. They're 0 for 14 in this series, or in the playoffs, I should say. 0 for 17 if you go back to the regular season. And he said he's at the point where he's ready to say to the referees, hey, it's not a penalty. There's no blood there. He doesn't want the power play. There's Lawson sitting it out for the next 2 minutes or less. If San Diego can end up breaking their jinx, but this penalty killing unit of Dallas has really improved. They've not allowed a goal in the series in 8 tries. Quinn is blocked. Coming back is Powers. Paul Wright defending. Paul Wright recovered fast. Wright with Quinn, Jaramillo, Castro, and Hermes. Normally Segona is out there, but you saw him before. He's in the stands with a hip injury. We can't tell you much more about it because there are really no details. It was a very vague announcement given to us before the game. Here's Hermes across to Jaramillo. 1:26 in the power play. Brian Quinn with a couple of assists already to Jaramillo. Outside to Paul Wright. Shot through the screen, blocked by Powers. McLeod off the boards. A chance for Dallas to break. Snyder leading with 1:10 of the power play. Runs into Quinn. Here comes the card. Brian Quinn will go off.
Chasing Snyder straight back. Quinn gets in there, and Snyder just goes airborne on his own. And Quinn coming in hard and trying to win that race to the ball, but I'm not so sure if I'll buy that one.
I'd like to see it again, and maybe we can when we come back, but there's no more power play in San Diego. We now return to playoff action later in the second quarter.
Excellent through pass down the slot. It's Tattoo there. That's the man you want to see here. But Nogueira slides across and makes the save at the near post.
Billy Phillips, in his first full year as the head coach of the Sidekicks, we said this the other night he should be the MISL's coach of the year. Not to take away from solid jobs done by other people, but some people picked his team for 4th place. They thought Ron Newman's team would win it, but they always think that. And that's because they do always win it, or so it seems. But Ron Newman has won more games than any other coach in the history of North American soccer. And he's won them outdoors and indoors. He's been coach of the year in every league you can name. And even some that you can't name. San Diego puts it back in play. Nogueira ready to start things up for the Sockers. Salgado looking as it goes back the other way. Teams are at full and equal strength. After going 4-on-4 for a while, then Dallas had a power play for less than a minute. Could not score. Their best chance we showed you on the Tattoo shot. Sockers lead it by a pair. Crow's header goes instead to Milano. Here's Willie, a flashy player for Dallas. Milano picked up by Rod Castro, helped by Jaramillo. Salgado draws a Pacho foul. So is Gino DiPolito. Played out to Wes McLeod. Now it's Lawson again. Lawson trying to beat Castro. Couple of fakes. Castro doesn't buy them. Kicked away to Brian Quinn. Lead pass the other way. Quinn with a pair of assists here. He had 4 in the game against St. Louis in their last playoff game. Coming back the other way. Salgado. And now he'll pull it back because he's going off. He did some running for Tattoo, who will come on. So will Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith will go down the left wing as Tattoo waits in midfield. Lawson coming through. Stopped on a hard shot by Nogueira. And Tattoo is playing as a defender now because players got caught upfield. Lawson wins it. Back for Tattoo. And Lawson got a piece of Wes Wade, or so it appeared. Coming back is Quinn. And Wade will turn it around the other way. Here's Quinn over the line. On the cut. Stopped by Papaleo. Right side to Kevin Smith. San Diego really trying to turn it up a notch here now. Snyder up for Carpet. Right back down to McLeod. Lead pass, they look for Kevin Smith. Smith in the corner trying to play it out for Tattoo. Hermes got in there. Here's Cacho. Sockers running hard. Tattoo with a good recovery run back. Cacho leads it though. Another half a step and Guevara has that one. That was close.
It's a great play by Cacho from those far boards, because he's out racing Tattoo initially and then putting a pass all the way to the opposite side that just failed to click.
Even the bigger shoe size in the part of Guevara, and that's a goal as Tattoo feeds it off to Snyder. 2:46 to play. Second quarter. Sockers are leading at 2-0. You notice how far Tattoo has been dropping back now to try and maybe get a better chance and also open up space for some others. He doesn't have to always play up for Dallas. But it doesn't help when they lose the ball like that. Right, knocking it back down to Fernandez for Guevara. San Diego, by Dallas's account, was the better team in Game 4. And I would have to think by everyone's account they're the better team tonight in the first half up to this point. Here's Black coming through against Carpin. Block. Carpin very physical there. Look at the shots. It's close. And in fact, Dallas has the edge, but it's a bit misleading. Coming back is Powers. And we've got a penalty. Let's see. Too many men? 2, 4, 5. There's 5 out there now, but apparently Essie Bahamas may have detected too many. It's 5 on 5 now. It's 5 on 5 right now. We'll see how they sort it out. We've seen that called a lot this year in the MISL. Normally it's the alternate official's call. It may be an inadvertent whistle. Let's wait and see. First, the penalty box door open up on the Dallas side. I believe it's an inadvertent whistle, no call. Yeah, that's what it looks like. If we can read the sign language, no call. How would you like to be a referee? Wes McLeod will put it in play. You youngsters watching, don't try that inadvertent whistle trick at home. McLeod will play it in for Tattoo. Takes a bump from Collins, and a foul is going to be called on Collins. That'll get the crowd a little more feisty. Tattoo will be putting it in play from right near the corner kick spot. Here's a good opportunity, though, for Dallas with less than 2 minutes to go. First half, he went right on goal, and Nogueira with a foot save. Lawson took a bump from right, and then Lawson spun away. Looking left, but Carpenter was breaking middle. Ralph Black on it. Getting it back. Giving it up to Guevara. That's a lot of room for Guevara, or for anyone for that matter. Here's Guevara trying to use it across to right. Didn't get a good kick on it. Tried a second time. Dallas a little lax that time in their marking. Lead pass. Ralph Black will cut it off, but he gave it up to Tattoo. A toe poke to Milano. Give and go. They walk through, and he's tripped up by Jaramillo. Tattoo was taken down. Lawson in late. That should have been 2. But it's not. And maybe it's because they didn't call it on Tattoo the other way, but that's 2 in my book.
That's got to be 2. Have a look at the first one here. Tattoo and Milano combining very well on the give and go. Tattoo thinks he's all the way through, but here comes Jaramillo. He gets a foot in there and does take the ball. And then Tattoo goes over his leg. So that's a pretty close one there. This next one is nowhere near close because Fernandez gets to the ball first. Lawson has gone airborne, going only for man. He's not even looking at the ball.
Well, no one feels worse about that than George Fernandez. 2-0 San Diego. Sockers bench, that's a key player now, George Fernandez. He was the All-Star Game MVP, an unsung hero a couple of years ago. Now he's really one of the key players and one of the very finest, I think, defensive defenders in the MISL.
He had his first shorthanded goal of his career in the last game of this series.
4 seconds still left on that Dallas power play when he scored it to make it 2-0. Lawson will be booed every time he touches the ball. You can count on that. Up the middle for Crow, had to look back for it. Well, Lawson maybe trying to inspire his teammates, but that was too physical a play and should have been 2 minutes. We saw it live and we saw it in the replay. It should have been 2. Here's Lawson now at midfield. He can block that crowd out, though. He's played long enough to do that. Tattoo against Crow. In the corner, Tattoo getting free. In traffic, Kevin Smith put it upstairs. Tattoo a little bit frustrated at that because he does all that work and then lays it off and then it goes upstairs. He had to get by 3 players to get in that position. So far, things not happening for Dallas, and Nogueira's happy about that. Nogueira's made his better saves, though, when he's had that 2-0 lead. He wasn't really tested, I didn't think, in the early going.
Not nearly as much as Joe Papaleo. Papaleo was getting frustrated at his own players, letting so many shots come through.
Well, Nogueira knows he's got another 13 seconds preventing him from going in with a 2-0 lead at the half, and that's what they want. They want that lead going in at the half. They were unable to get that the other night, even though at one point they had a 2-0 lead. Nogueira will just put it upstairs. Time will run out as Wade and Powers are physical at that red line, but it went over 3 off of the goalkeeper. He's the only guy that can clear it over 3 lines and be called for it. A field player can do it, no problem, but with only 1 second left here, Dallas doesn't like what the clock says. That's 1 second in the first half. Billy Phillips will have to say some magic words in the locker room for the second half as Dallas smartly goes to the 6th attacker. They're not going to get burnt here. With Kevin Smith normally donning that 6th attacker jersey, he will go on. The thinking being that obviously with only a second left, there's no way that San Diego could intercept it and clear it the length of the field for a goal. There's Kevin Smith, just 26 years old.
Almost no way they can score on it.
Ferretti took it in. That's one of the longest seconds I've seen. I don't know if that clock went off.
Well, what I was about to say, there's almost no way to score except on the first kick.
Right. That's why I think that the clock didn't start right away. That first shot would have been, that's all the time I think that they would have had for that. But as it turns out, it was a pass and then a shot. Wade and Wright are the goal scorers, and San Diego is shutting out Dallas in Game 5. Series between the Dallas Sidekicks and the San Diego Sockers, and at the end of the first half of play, San Diego leads it by the score of 2-0. It was obvious it was a must-win game tonight for San Diego, and the Sockers came out and proved that they knew what the odds were tonight.
Well, they came out extremely aggressively, and that's really because their backs are more to the wall. Even though it's a 2-2 series, it's going back to Dallas for the next couple of games, and they came out, they took the initiative and scored on 2 counterattack goals.
We're going to take a look at those goals. They're nice goals that were scored by San Diego. Wes Wade is going to get credit for the first one.
On the first one, it's Wad Hermes who's coming up the center on a 3-against-1, and he really makes the right decision here. He's got the defense set up a certain way, and he goes across the grain to Quinn. Quinn wisely goes back the other way, finds Wes Wade, and the first-year MISL player manages to find a way to put that ball in the goal, even though for a minute it looked like he wasn't going to be able to get a foot on it. The second one's similar in that San Diego breaks all at once and so quickly, and Brian Quinn is the one this time who's off to the races. He cuts to his left foot, drives a low, hard shot that Papaleo saves, but Paul Wright, another speedster just like Wade, is there to follow up on a double rebound, as the first one was blocked by Mark Carpin on the hand. The advantage was given because Wright was going to put it away anyway.
Well, if you noticed on that scoring summary, Brian Quinn has figured in both of those goals. He has a couple of nice assists, and credit Wad Hermes with some fine play as well. If you take a look at the halftime stats, they may be a little bit misleading. You may think that Dallas has had the edge, but they don't.
Well, you see that Dallas has 3 more shots than San Diego, but San Diego has got the 2 that counted. And then you look down, the block shots are almost even, the fouls exactly even, so a hard-fought game.
One thing we want to talk about before we go away to a break is the fact that Bronco Segota is not playing in this game. We led to the fact that he was in a slump at the top of the telecast. A mysterious injury, they tell us, bursitis in the left hip. No one seemed to know about it all during the week, but we got to say this in all honesty. San Diego is playing better soccer, maybe without the pressures of Bronco. I think everybody feels the pressure. Maybe they're trying to do too much to set him up. Maybe he's thinking and trying to do much as well to break the slump.
That could happen. A team could certainly rally. They decide that, hey, we're missing one of our key attacking players. He's not done that much lately anyway. Let's just go out there and pull that much harder for each other, each and every one of us.
At the end of the first half of play, the better team has been the San Diego Sockers. They lead it by the score of 2-0, but Dallas has been able to come back before. We'll see if they can when we come back. All kinds of flags, championship flags across the ceiling here. It's a 2-0 lead at halftime with San Diego leading over Dallas. Scoring-wise tonight, Wes Wade scored at 9:28 of the first quarter. He was assisted by Brian Quinn, and you're going to see Quinn's name again because he assisted on the second goal scored by Paul Wright at 13:57 or a minute and 3 before the end of that quarter. There was no scoring at all in the second quarter, and that's where we stand right now. That 2-0 lead that San Diego has now, they had it in game number 4. They were unable to hold on to it, but then after it was tied up at 2, they were able to score the next couple of goals. A reminder to join us for our next playoff telecast. Baltimore, by virtue of beating Kansas City in their series, will take on the winner of Dallas versus San Diego, and that game is coming up on June 9th. We ask you to check your local listings for exact times. So the Dallas Sidekicks trail 2-0. Billy Phillips knows that it's never tough or never easy to win on the road, especially here in San Diego. He also knows that he's got the next 2 games in Dallas, and really, Ty, this series is almost like it was last year. If you recall, Ron Newman sure does. His team trailed 3-2 when the series home field advantage was in San Diego. They won their last 2 in San Diego, and the last one by a 1-0 score. And in this case, if San Diego, if they hold on and win, they'd be up 3-2, but Dallas would have a chance by winning the last 2 to go on. But it's easier said than done. And there's still at least 30 minutes to go in this one. Dolly is out for an infrequent turn, along with Tattoo, Mike Powers, Doc Lawson, and Kevin Smith. It's Guevara. George Fernandez is back, along with Ben Collins, Ralph Black, and Wes Wade. And the second half is underway from San Diego. Played back to Papaleo. Upfield off Tattoo's chest trap for Dolly. Dolly, a good playmaker, but that time the pass is behind Tattoo. He tried to soften it to Kevin Smith. It's right on Noguera. And as soon as Noguera gets the ball, Wes Wade is sprinting, either to go upfield for the attack, or in this case to change up with Paul Wright. Well, like Bruno Ferretti, Dolly has not played much. This is his first turn of the night. Ferretti's had maybe a couple of shifts. Roderick Scott, we've not seen too much time there. Illegal procedure on Noguera. You've got 5 seconds to get rid of it, basically. That could be a costly error. You see the goalkeeper sometimes gesture. They're counting the 5 with the referee, but the goalkeeper's count doesn't matter. It's the referee who counts. Here's Tattoo, striking it, but off Jaramina. Tattoo again on a side-footed pass to McLeod. Back for Tattoo. Can't get it by Guevara. McLeod in there. Off a deflection off the glass. Tattoo going forward with Fernandez on him. We've gone nearly a minute here into the third quarter. Dallas still down 2-0 the back heel. It was left there for McLeod, but snuffed out by San Diego. Fernandez and company. Here's Fernandez, who was hurt a little bit at least on a tough tackle by Doc Lawson towards the end of the first half of play, but he's obviously okay now. On the left side, Smith for Tattoo. Back for Kevin Smith. Loose ball swept away by Jaramina. McLeod. Well, you got to like the pressure that Dallas is putting on at the start of this half. At least if you're a Dallas fan, you've got to like it. Here's Dolly. If you're Ron Newman, you're wondering what's going on. Here's Lawson with a knock.
Well, it's evident that San Diego cannot afford to relax here, as Dallas could be right back in it.
Ralph Black. Well, you know the one goal will change the complexion of this. Black just kicked Tattoo right after on his follow-through. Coming back on the right side is Quinn for Wright, and Papaleo was there.
A brilliant crossfield pass, though, by Jaramina to spring Quinn initially, and then Quinn put the ball on the money And Wright was on the doorstep, but so was Papaleo.
Quinn had the 4 assists in St. Louis in that last game. You think he wants 4 tonight? Here's Tattoo's turnaround, but Nogueira is right there.
Those are tougher than they look, too, off those boards. You turn around, you're unsighted. You're just guessing where it's going to come off of. And Nogueira did quite well.
Physical battle between Powers and Wade. Powers had 9 fouls called the other night out of Dallas's total of 30. A jam up there, and his Tattoo gets it. Starts it back. He's tripped up by Hermes and Wade. Oh, Carpenter just came through and crunched Wade. It's got to be 2. Essie Bahamas saw that. Carpenter came across and either got an elbow up. Well, we'll see it.
Carpen's been playing in this fashion, total abandon. There's the ball. Tattoo kind of struggling to find his way through. Wade finally wins it. And Wade's off to the races. There's the takeout. And there shouldn't be any argument there because Carpen doesn't even know where the ball is. He's not looking at the ball. He's looking completely to make sure that he interferes with Wade.
Here's what I was talking about before. Watch the kick later from Black.
There's Ralphie Black getting taken down from behind by Tattoo. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
A little retribution there of what they call a late payback.
He wasn't showing Tattoo his shoe size or the style of shoe he was wearing, right? Here's Carpen. Here's that power play that San Diego has struggled with. We've got him now at 0 for 15 in the playoffs. Paul Wright is back with Quinn, Jaramina, Castro, and Hermes. A different sort of setup, too. They've got Hermes planted on the right boards. Handball on Beto. Crowd wanted that as more of an intentional, like for a delay of game or an unsportsmanlike conduct, but just called a handball. Here's Quinn to Castro. Well, San Diego would look good if they could score on this, especially the way Dallas came out stronger at the half, at the end of that half. Coming through off the boards for Jaramina. Now to Wright. Paul Wright across, deflected, and a Papaleo save. Those are very tough because direction has changed and speed has changed. So getting back to Carpen's penalty, I think he was retaliating too because Tattoo took a bump there from Wade, and sometimes you get frustrated like that. It's a payback, but oftentimes you get caught. Right side Hermes, off the left foot, save Papaleo. Paul Wright with it. 1:04 on the power play. Quinn coming through as Brian Quinn, left footer. What a shot, but it was rising too far and too fast. It looked good though when he let it go. Brian Quinn coming through. Castro taken down by Powers or by Snyder. I think the officials thought though that Castro helped that one out. Lots of times you'll see that where a player will go down and you say, why isn't there not a penalty called? And some players, if it looks like they're going down, they're not going to get the call.
Well, Castro may have been bumped, but he dove to embellish it.
Quinn with it, 23 seconds left in the power play. Quinn holding it, right side down to Paul Wright. A lot of talent on this power play, but chemistry is so important. Here's Jaramina. Forget chemistry, he just gets underneath it too much.
He wants that one back because he's a good finisher. He normally can rip those on goal. This time he didn't even come close.
We talk about the power play. Remember Kansas City, they put almost 5 All-Stars out on theirs, but I'll tell you, it's hard sometimes to get everybody clicking. Mark Carpen struggled a bit tonight. He's not really gotten into the flow of the game, and he's the kind of guy that can really contribute to this team, especially at that far post. He can score those goals.
Well, he has worked extremely hard. He's fought for every ball, and he's mixed it up a little bit, and that's why he's in the box.
He's just not getting any kind of tangible results, I guess is what I'm looking for. But not to take anything away from that work rate, because it's always there with Mark Carpen. Free kick coming up here, or a goal kick. Papaleo and McLeod in there. 10:44 left in the third. 2-0 San Diego. Cacho knocks it out of play. Power play has another 6 seconds to go. Power play is becoming a nightmare. During the regular season for San Diego, it was their worst ever power play statistic. And we're talking about in the history of the franchise. So they did struggle with it during the regular season. In the playoffs, it's really been nightmarish. 2-0 San Diego leading it. Goals by Wade and Wright. And Quinn has both assists. All the way back to Papaleo. Sending it long over midfield. He almost passed it complete to Carpen coming out of the box. Carpen controlling it, cutting it back. Didn't try to go forward. I think he figures that the penalty killers may need a break. maybe try to get out there in the line change, but as it turns out, they won't be able to do it anyway. San Diego gets possession back. Tough change to make when the other team gets possession. Here's Crow. Going long, wanting Rod Castro. Off Snyder. Hermes after it. Juan Hermes on the cut. Took a hit from Powers, but again, I thought he embellished that. Well, the crowd may be booing, but I disagree with it. I think the players are doing a little too much trying to draw fouls here. Here's Gabara. Blocked by Snyder. And you know, from our angle, it's tough to see. The referees get the better angle, but from up here, it looks like the players are giving it a lot more. McGarrett with 9:35 to go. 0 for 16, San Diego. Dallas 0 for 9. Coming back on the left side. A foul called on Powers for that two-handed push. Haramine on the restart to Crow, and that's blocked. Tattoo trying to do what he did the other night, and that's get past Cacho, except it was on the left wing the other night. He goes outside, save McGarrett. Boy, he disguised that shot so well, too. Here comes Quinn with room. Tackled away by Beto. And now Ralph Black on it. 9 minutes to go. Third quarter as Roderick Scott and Quinn collide. Scott's first turn of the night. The rookie from Akron University, third-team All-American. Had a nice career at Akron. Lead pass headed down. Broken up by Haramina. Gives it up to Paul Wright. Across the way, Quinn shot. Blocked by Lawson. He'll get another crack. Slides into Fernandez. Look out above as Fernandez's shot goes upstairs. San Diego still leads it by 2. Dallas showing signs, but not enough. An outstanding playoff. He had 1 shutout as well during the playoffs, a couple during the regular season, 3 for the year. McGarrett beat Dallas earlier in game 1 of this series. The series is even at 2 apiece. If San Diego can take this, they need only to split in Dallas. Should they lose this, then it's going to be a rough road for San Diego. They would have to win both of those games in Dallas. And the Sidekicks, not only do they play well on the road, as they've shown here, but they are an exceptional home team as well. Papaleo will put it in play on the restart. Papaleo, a little superstitious as a goalkeeper. He wears, inside his own socks, a pair of socks of each of his 3 kids. Billy Phillips was saying today if he has any more kids, he's going to weigh a lot more with all those socks in there. On the right side, Roderick Scott. He's got some speed if he can get into an open field. But right now he's in the corner, jammed up, and a couple of extra kicks for good measure. And Fernandez comes up limping. It's going to be San Diego's ball, but Fernandez, a little bit tender right there. And this is not going to be changing on the fly. He's going to be limping on the fly. He's got to stay out there. Here's Scott turning it back for Beto. Might be able to take advantage of some limited maneuverability here on the part of Fernandez. A foul caught on Hermes. He's not going to win the argument, so he had better back off as the play goes on. Well, Waddy's still arguing. The play's going on. Well, now
they're going to bring it back.
Yeah. What a series he has had, Hermes. Not just this one, but in the St. Louis series, he had the hat trick. Lawson couldn't sneak it through. 7:50 to go. Quarter number 3. Sockers lead it 2-0. This is Dali. Going up against Black. Into the corner for Tattoo. He'll draw the crowd. He played it all the way across. There's nobody home. Look out. Hermes breaks on the right to midfield. Castro joins him on the run. Hermes strong on the left foot, trying to push it forward. Look at that agility by a guy with a bad left hamstring. I got to see his doctor. Papaleo gives it up to Lawson. Well, the crowd really respects that because they know he's hurting. He came out of game 4, couldn't come back and play. He told me earlier if he had come out, or if he had not come out, he felt he would have been done for the playoffs.
Most players would quit on that ball. How he got his leg up there, I can't imagine.
Tattoo in the corner. It hops loose to McGarrett. 6:58 to go in the third. Brian Quinn has room. And he's dangerous there. Across to Haramina. Off the the glass. Quinn settles. Right footer is blocked by Powers. Out to Crow. So one more goal could be a huge difference in this one. If San Diego gets it, they're up by 3. Off the boards, Dolly with a block. If Dallas gets it, this whole complexion could change. So look for the next goal as the critical one, if it comes. Right now, it's 2-0. We've not seen a goal since 13:57 of the first quarter. Knocked away into the corner for Papaleo. Over midfield, Ralph Black. Flicking it right side to Crow. Up now for Paul White. Roderick Scott on for Tattoo. For Gabara. Jim Gabara on the right foot of Bender, but it's just wide. Right side of the field. Some jersey tugging at its best between Jaramina and Powers. And now it's Dolly. Right side, Kevin Smith. Smith to midfield. Back to Powers. Now to Troy Snyder. Started out his indoor career with the Minnesota Strikers. He's got a lot of playing time here in Dallas, and with the Chinapoo injury as well, Dallas cannot go with as many defenders, so everybody getting more time. Roderick Scott in the corner. Slipped and fell down, enabling Cacho to steal. He has 2 game-winning assists in this series, including the game-winning assist in Game 4. Cleared up by Papaleo as Cacho and Scott hit the deck. And now Carpin will get it. Sidekicks missed Carpin when he was injured. They still won the division title. But Billy Phillips told me before, he said it's tough to replace a player like Mark Carpin. Sidekicks played over to Lawson. They're still pulling Lawson for that tough tackle against Fernandez. Here's Tattoo. The turnaround. He just missed short side. Not many players can do that move. Quinn. He knows that Crow is free. On the trap. Right footer. Great save. Papaleo.
2 great chances, 1 at each end. Tattoo really putting on a show for us, but then Quinn, with his awareness and vision, found Kevin Crow breaking from the backfield and took a great save by Papaleo.
The vision is spectacular. Quinn could see through a fog. Tattoo knocked it away from Hermes. Dallas could be dangerous here. 3-on-3. Tattoo got around Cacho. Blocked by Brian Quinn. McLeod will knock it into the corner off the glass. Lawson is there with Cacho. He and Hermes battle. Lawson tried to jump over Hermes.
Put a saddle on him.
Here comes Quinn. Right side, Cacho. Shot it too high. Quinn settles it down for Fernandez. That got by him. And now it's Hermes. You're going to like the effort, though, on the part of both teams. Shots show Dallas still with a lead, not by much. San Diego's been the better team, but this is the most threatening that Dallas has looked, but they still have no goal to show for it. And really, Tattoo has just missed. No great saves by Nogueira. This one goes out of play, and now we'll stop things here in San Diego. So the fans still enjoying themselves here in San Diego. Why not? The Sockers lead by a pair.
When Sports Cream.
You can tell that this is playoff action. Look at the intensity of effort here by Hermes as he tries to run by Powers. And then on a ball that most guys would give up on, look how high he gets his entire body, including his leg. Just tremendous acrobatics and effort by Wad Hermes.
Regular season, you may not see it happen. That's a good point. Playoffs, it's all or nothing, and there's Hermes. He's really gutting it out. 6 goals in 8 playoff games. His goal the other night is 8th game winner. He's #1 on this team. When I talked to him this morning, he wasn't even aware of that. I said, Waddy, you got to read the game notes. And his name is ahead of Julie V's, Bronco Segodas, Steve Jungles, Gene Wilrich. That's great company.
He's got the most all-time playoff game-winning goals of ever for San Diego Soccer with 8.
And you remember him, right? When you were playing for San Diego, and he was what you'd call like an apprentice back then,
about
right?
17 years old on the reserve team.
Come a long way. Here's Milano on the toe to Beto. Beto right through. Black didn't give it enough as he tried to deaden it. But here comes Ralph Black. Started indoors with the Denver Avalanche. Had some great years with Tacoma. In fact, he was one of the more popular players on the Tacoma Stars team. Lost through free agency, and he ended up in San Diego. Ralph Black with it now. Started in this league, too, as a teenager. And on that pass, we've got a foul. Milano apparently fouled Ralph Black. but he'll help him up. Ralph Black in his 9th year, still only 26 years old. When guys start in this league as a teenager, they're playing almost a decade in this league, Ty, and they're still in their mid to late 20s.
Yeah, he grew up in the Bay Area, and as you mentioned, his father had played some professionally over in Scotland.
Right side, Castro knocking it back. His dad is a painter now in San Francisco. Left side for Guevara. In fact, he comes down to watch him play. He was here the other night. He's probably here tonight as well. Foul is going to be called. There's a look at Beto. He's done well with this club. He was always a good player in Los Angeles, but it's more structured here in Dallas, and he has fit in well with this club. Jaramina to Black, sending it in wide. Right side, Salgado. Now it's Guevara. Jaramina, he's free in the corner. Stopped by Papaleo. Jaramina, in fairness to Demir, did not have a great angle, but he can score from there, as he almost did. 2:35 left in the third quarter. 2-0. San Diego leading over Dallas. Game 5. Takedown. Powers and Castro. That's been a heck of a battle throughout this series when they've been matched. Neither team really matching player against player, but a lot of times that's been the matchup. Right across. Jaramina. If you watched earlier games, it looked like Lawson was marking Segota, but that was only when Lawson was out there. They didn't try purposely to get Lawson out there against Segota. Ralph Black upset with that call. He's fired up. You want to talk about an intense player. You were looking at him right there as Ralph Black went to the bench. Off the boards. Crow says that's my man as McLeod knocks it upfield. Cacho is there. Well, what happened to Dallas side? They had a great start in this third quarter, but all of a sudden they're not getting through.
Well, if you don't see any results from all of your work, it's difficult to sustain it.
Knocked out a play, and on the San Diego bench, the Sockers will get possession back. Well, you're bound to have a lull, and it seemed like San Diego had one, but Dallas could not capitalize. Towing it for Crow, and that doesn't get there. Out to Paul Wright in the middle of the field. Wright traded up for Zoran Karic. Great trade, actually, for both sides. Both Cleveland and San Diego benefited. San Diego was not a 500 team, and when they got Paul Wright, they became one, although they finished the year a couple games under 5. Wright coming back against Tattoo. He got the advantage as Tattoo was holding on to him. Wright will play it back to Cacho. Look at Crow off the post. What a great ball from Cacho. They lulled Dallas to sleep on that.
And you can tell the Crow is feeling better. That's the second time he's broken through from his back position in behind the Dallas defense. And he just missed by inches there. We'll see it. And Cacho recognizes that it's on as Crow breaks inside. Crow with the left foot, which is his preferred shooting foot. Just missed by a few inches.
That's actually a great shot. If he shoots it low, Papaleo's got it easily. He had to try and lift it over him. 3 times he's been Defender of the Year, twice consecutive. No one else has that honor in the MISL. And when you've got defenders in the league of the class of, let's say, your Rundveds and your Bruce Savages, Bernie James,
Fernando
quite an honor. Sure, I'm going to forget some people. I'm going to have some angry people, but there's a ton of great defenders that have played in this league. Hermes coming back on the left. Lawson with a block there. Dolly. Wes Wade bumped him. 1:03 to go. Third quarter. Look at Quinn again to Crow. Crow to Hermes. Wants the left foot. Save Papaleo. Papaleo knew he wanted left foot. If Hermes could have teed that up in the right, he might have had a better shot, but you go with your confidence, and Hermes knows that's his left foot. A look at Joe Papaleo, who has only given up a couple of goals here.
It's Crow again who's breaking forward, causing all kinds of problems. He slots the ball through to Hermes. Hermes tries to get it back on his left foot. Papaleo reads it well and covers it and keeps it away.
I like the way San Diego is running into space, though, the last few minutes or so, and it's opened up really with their defenders. Juan Hermes. Fine year. In fact, he led this team in goals scored during the regular season with 29. 6 of them were game-winning goals, and in the playoffs, he's had a couple of game-winning goals, and 6 goals leads this club. He's second in the league in playoff goal scoring. And something else he's doing well, he's scoring a goal for every 6 shots he takes. good percentage, especially come playoff time when it's normally, like hockey, tougher to score goals. You run into better defense and better goalkeeping normally. Woodbury will give it up to Kevin Smith. Knocked all the way back. Wes McLeod on the run. To Papaleo. Kevin Smith on the touch for Lawson. Wade got a piece of that. Lawson again. Up for Woodbury. Blocked by Fernandez. Woodbury took a bump for Hermes and he went down. That looked like more embellishing. Hermes just nudged him, maybe grazed him.
It's a foul.
I don't know. From my angle, I see him just drop. Here's Lawson. Across the way, and it was just tipped once. Milano. Noguera took it right off Tattoo's foot, it looked like. A lot of space here. Wade trying to bring it inside, and McLeod with a block. Here comes Kevin Smith. 6 seconds to go in the third quarter. Milano wanting to tee it up, but Hermes blocks him. Hermes in the corner. Time will run out in the third as Milano bumps Hermes at the horn. San Diego has one more quarter to go, and Papaleo looks a little bit frustrated. Not so much at the fact that San Diego is coming at him, but probably at the fact that his team has been unable to score goals. We've not had a goal since 13:57 of the first quarter. Paul Wright and Wes Wade are the only goal scorers up to now.
Here's one. He can't find the ball. Desperately looking for it. It's loose. Nearly gets squeezed inside that near post, but he got his hip on it to keep it out. And he immediately goes forward looking for the counterattack.
Well, Noguera only made 2 saves. Only had to in that quarter, but that was one of the big ones. 5 career shutouts for Noguera. Can he make it 6? Stay tuned for the next 15 minutes, and we'll have the answer for you. That's the cumulative stats, and they show Dallas out shooting San Diego, but clearly the better chances have come San Diego's way. All the way back to Ralph Black as the fourth quarter is underway here in San Diego. More of a must-win game for San Diego. If they lose this, it's really backs to the wall. Next 2 in Dallas. Lawson with a clear, but there's Black. Carpet. I like the way Dallas came out to start the third quarter, but they didn't finish it very well. And they have no goals to show for the work tonight.
Ralph Black got nailed there again, this time by Woodbury. You know he's looking for somebody.
Here comes Woodbury knocking it loose from Jaramina. Noguera coming out with a little chip up for Ron Castro. Right side boards for Quinn. Broken up. Look at Quinn still fight for it. He and Powers hold on to each other. And now coming back, it's Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith with it 3 times, or 2-time All-Star. Wade knocks it away. Jaramina looking, so is Lawson along the boards. Doc takes it to Tattoo. Left side Ferretti. Dallas needs a goal. Off of Tattoo. Tattoo and Wade in a collision, and then Tattoo bumped them back. And I don't know if they're speaking the same language, but they both understand one another. Well, if you can read lips, join in, be my guest. 12 goals against Dallas, or against San Diego, during the regular season. 5 in the first game. And that's 5 games this year. We had 5 points or more. A very explosive player, but you don't score over 60 goals without having the word explosive attached to your name.
He'd like to explode for just 1 at this point to get his team within 1.
Nice job by Snyder sticking in the right, and then Ferretti is taken down by Paul Wright. McLeod will leave it for Kevin Smith. Now for Snyder. Troy Snyder, number 3, giving it back now to Wes McLeod. McLeod's pass broken up by Quinn. Quinn has been their leader, and the only time San Diego ever lost a playoff series was when Brian Quinn was injured and did not play. That was in the series to Tacoma back in '86-'87 when the Sidekicks ended up as the champions of the MISL, beating Tacoma in one of the most exciting, if not the most exciting, championship series that this league has ever seen. Here's Paul Wright to Hermes. Nice fake. Woodbury in the end came through. Good thing there was the double team on, or else Hermes might have had Papaleo against himself. Pass for Dali, and Guevara came in quickly. Ron Newman knows that he needs just another 15 solid minutes from his club, and they'll have a 3-games-to-2 edge going back to Dallas. And you'd rather have the opportunity to win just one in Dallas as opposed to needing two if you're San Diego, or anyone for that matter.
San Diego continuing to rely on this scrappy play. They keep fighting and winning balls in midfield, and that's worked for them. That's how they got their counterattacks.
Milano. Quinn said the difference in game number 3 really was that they didn't win those 50-50 balls. He felt that they won them in game 4. Powers to Lawson. They're winning him in game 5, we can tell you. Right side intended for Milano. Blocked by Cacho. Now to Collins. Off the boards, there's Snyder. Or Powers, I'm sorry. Mike Powers with it. At the back with Lawson. Beto in the middle with Tattoo and Milano. And that pass intended for Milano goes out of play. So Dallas still struggling here. They can't find their way to goal. Dallas trailing it to San Diego 2-0 here at the San Diego Sports Arena. We haven't had the opportunity to call a goal for you since 13:57 of the first quarter, when Paul Wright scored for Brian Quinn. No scoring in the second or third quarter, and we've gone better than 3 minutes into the fourth. Guevara along the boards with Beto and Woodbury. Here comes Woodbury, got free for the moment from Guevara. Woodbury's got some fine speed if he can shake loose. Here's McLeod. Blocked 14 shots in his final regular season game, missing wide. Cacho cleared it out. That one looked a little dangerous.
Always when there's bodies out in front. Nogueira didn't have a good look at it.
If you joined us late, they're booing Lawson for a tough tackle that he made against Fernandez. There was no penalty called, and quite honestly, there should have been one called. And I'm sure if the referees had a chance to do it over, it would have been called. McLeod, right side to Woodbury. Trying to lead Lawson. Good idea, but not a good ball. Cacho to the races. Deceptive speed. Taken down by Woodbury. Again, the word embellish comes to mind as Castro played it back, and Lawson just missed it by inches. Kevin Crowe with it. I wonder when the players are going to realize. I've seen 4 or 5 players today where you know for a fact they dove. There's maybe 3 or 4 question marks, but you wonder when it'll set in. Maybe they win 1 or 2 of those calls and they think they'll get away
Exactly. It's worth trying, because at that point Cacho was bumped ever so slightly and probably would not have had a good chance on goal. So maybe he can draw a 2-minute penalty.
Crowe on the header, lands on the bench. Billy Phillips shows he's got those goalkeeper hands. He made the save on the bench. The former goalkeeper comes up big there. He'd like to score a goal, though, for his team. They need at least one. They're down by a pair.
See, San Diego gets through midfield, and a little change of pace. He's trying to break all the way through. Woodbury coming from behind does use his arm on him and then bumps him again. And Cacho, as soon as he feels that touch on his arm, sends his body flying down to the turf.
There's a look at Bronco Segota sitting this one out with what was said was a hip problem. The question becomes, if San Diego wins this game, do they bring him to Dallas or do they play him? Do they bring him and not play him? Big question mark if they win this game. Likewise, should Dallas lose, they've got Richard Chinapoo and Steve Kinsey maybe not quite ready to come back, but a tough call for Billy Phillips. Here's Ralph Black dumping it into the corner. Around the boards, Carpet trying to get it free. Black will get it to Quinn. Carpet still working hard, barreling through. Now to Tattoo. Wade gave him a bump. Kevin Smith off the boards. And as he and Black get in there, that one's going against Kevin Smith. If you talk to both coaches, they're complaining about the same thing. They're telling the officials, watch out for the upper body contact. But both teams are doing it. Black. Right back to Nogueira with maybe too much speed. More than Victor would have liked. Here comes Wright. It may turn out okay. Or all right. Knocked away now by Powers. Back for Quinn with 9:34 to go. San Diego with a 2-0 lead, but they're not going into a shell here. Usually when teams do that, they get burnt. Black broken up. McLeod. On the takeover for Kevin Smith. He and Quinn get there almost at the same time. Into the corner, Nogueira will let Hermes make the play back to him. Smart move by Nogueira. Here comes Hermes. Leading it for Quinn. Off the post. Rebound. Hermes scores!
here's what makes things happen. The aggressive run by Quinn out of midfield. Hermes finds him. It just misses, gets us a part of the post. And then it comes out, and Juan Hermes, who normally likes that left foot, just buries the shot with his right.
That's a big goal. It gets the crowd back in. That one might be too much for Dallas, although you never count Dallas out. That's a big one. The crowd is back into the game. Hermes from Quinn at 5:56. Quinn has 3 assists now. When he had 4 assists against St. Louis, Hermes had the hat trick. You don't see many Hermes goals off the right foot. In fact, we tease him a lot about it, but he made no mistake about that. He buried it. Ferretti, back for Tattoo. Ryan Quinn, for my money, the player of the game with 3 assists. Not to take anything away from the goal scorers or the goalkeepers, but Ryan Quinn, and how many
Well,
could he have had?
Hermes has been involved in each of the 3 goals, too.
Yeah. How many goals or assists could Quinn have had? Remember, he set up Pro and a couple, and other players as well.
Paul Wright, he nearly set up.
Here comes Cacho. A great run by Guevara, but Papaleo is right there for Beto. Well, we can keep saying it, but Dallas really needs a goal, even more so now. Milano. They're just going to get some confidence going. Here's Milano's pass or shot, deflected, and Wes Wade has it. Taken down by Beto. Lawson wanted to tee it up. Slides it over to Tattoo. Against Wade, a right footer, and he just missed the far post. Powers coming through. Broken up by Guevara. Now back for Ladasura. His first turn of the night. Over to Cacho. Off the Dallas bench, but apparently didn't touch anyone because play still continues. Milano, 7:43 to go. Dallas is talking big comeback now. Down 3-0 against the defending champion team, San Diego Sockers. And on the road, always tough to win in this building. Lawson holding it. Fans have been treated to some great soccer here over the years, and there are great fans here in San Diego. They appreciate some great soccer action, and they see it in those championship banners that have been hoisted. San Diego, a true dynasty, and the team of the 80s. Dallas would love to become the team of the 90s, but they've got to get by San Diego here first. Here's Lawson in the corner, right across off a deflection, and Dallas can't even get a lucky deflection in there. That's when you know things are tough. Here comes Quinn. Leads for Fernandez. San Diego play now with the confidence of a defending champ. Broken up by McLeod for Milano. Right back. McLeod to Carpet.
Now you see the work of a George Fernandez there. Just another player setting an example for his teammates. Quinn, and that's really been the difference tonight, is San Diego would not take no for an answer. They've scrapped, they've fought, they've battled all over the field, up and down, and just had a step or two on the Dallas Sidekicks.
Tattoo will play it in now to Beto. The turnaround is blocked. Powers coming through. Knocked away by Guevara. Back for Troy Snyder. Dallas changing up now with Ferretti coming on. Snyder will knock it back to Powers. And you wonder when the fatigue also might set in here with Dallas. They've got to play Tattoo a lot of minutes anyway, but it's easier to play him a lot of minutes when you're up or down by 1.
Well, here's a bit of a mismatch. They got Wes Wade marked up with Tattoo.
Off the boards, Tattoo. Now Ferretti headed out by Wade. Guevara slid it past McLeod, but he has no help. Good recovery, though, by McLeod. This team never quits. Here's Snyder. 5:35 to go. Dallas may be thinking 6th attacker, and here we go. As Papaleo comes on. Kevin Smith is on. He's already got the jersey on. Remember, you can change on the fly now in this league, so you don't have to wait for a timeout. Here's Kevin Smith. Normally, he'll be that 6th attacker. Sidekicks with the ball. Tattoo. A lot of time left, but when you're down 3, I got to applaud Billy Phillips for pulling him here. Some coaches would try to keep the score the way it is now. It's a playoff game, etc., but Billy's got nothing to lose in my book. Here's Milano. Foot save, Nogueira. Take it away. Wade will play it right back to Nogueira. Long throw. Off the boards. Kevin Smith will get that carom. 4:49 to go. Kevin Smith Up the middle for Beto. Almost didn't see Quinn, it looked like. Milano. Look at how many minutes, too, of Brian Quinn gets for San Diego. Here's Ferretti's shot, and there's Nogueira. That was a tester from a tough angle. Crow flicks it on. To Brian Quinn, he's going for goal. He's got it. Brian Quinn with a goal and 3 assists. It's the Brian Quinn Show in San Diego. We'll continue it when we come back.
Time, Kevin Crow gets a piece of the ball, comes out to Quinn, and Quinn doesn't hesitate at all. He doesn't just loft this ball in there. He hit a line drive. It goes in on the second bounce into the empty net as Dallas had gone to the 6th attacker.
Back on the live game action. This one goes out of play, and it is San Diego's ball. Brian Quinn with a magnificent night. There's his scoring summary. A goal and 4 assists, and he's now past Dale Mitchell as the leading scorer in the MISL playoffs. And everyone has told you before, no matter what, you name all the great names here, but when Brian Quinn is on, that's when San Diego is on. Number 14 for the Sockers, over 100 career playoff points. This is his time. And right after you score a goal in the MISL, you kick one up into the stands. A souvenir. Nice catch. Back in the action for Beto. Back for Lawson. Well, Dallas has got to try to win something. Obviously, they want to win the game, but they've got to win something here. Maybe break Nogueira's shutout, get a couple of goals, win the last 4 minutes, something, so they've got at least a little something to show for the game.
Win yourself a little momentum.
Beto.
Come out here with a 0. It doesn't help you when you kick off at home, although home field can make a big difference.
Makes the flight a little longer back to Dallas, though. Snyder. Right side to Tattoo. Going to the opposite wing. Lawson strikes it hard, but couldn't quite beat Nogueira. Snyder in the corner to Carpet. Lifted out for Tattoo. Tattoo back in with Kevin Smith. He'll play it up for Snyder. Troy Snyder holding it into the corner for Carpet. Out for Tattoo. Beto. Lawson left footer. Off the foot of Nogueira. And now it is Snyder. Drills it upstairs. Hold on to your refreshments. 3:03 to play. Troy Snyder has to be a little bit frustrated, as do the Dallas Sidekicks. The work rate is there. It's not really that they're getting outworked. When they made mistakes, though, San Diego capitalized. And really, San Diego's had the momentum intensity-wise, goal-scoring-wise, right from the open.
Well, they've got the crowd behind them, and really, for them, it was do or die. For them to expect to go into Dallas and have to win 2, they really didn't want that, and they've had just that much more tenacity in their play. And again, not to take away from the Dallas Sidekicks. They've worked hard, but there's a little bit more of an edge to the work being done by the San Diego Sockers.
And for San Diego, individuals have come to the forefront, Quinn and Hermes, but how about Wes Wade scoring that goal, getting more carpet time? You know, with Segota not playing tonight, Wade has gotten more playing time. So has Jaramina. Not that they've necessarily taken his role, but with some of the shifting being done by Ron Newman, he's got some versatile people. Look out, his right deflected it, but Kevin Smith was right there. Well, goals couldn't come any easier than that if Paul Wright scored it. Kevin Smith intercepted by Black to Gamara. Right back, but there is Ferretti. Almost gave it up to Paul Wright. We're down to 2:17 left. San Diego with precision taking apart Dallas and then taking down Dallas. You know, if this were a boxing match, it wouldn't be called a KO because Dallas keeps coming back, but maybe a TKO would be the right term.
Well, there have been plenty of knockdowns.
Yeah, Dallas has taken a lot of punches tonight. Tattoo will get it. Right back to Kevin Smith. Up the middle for Ferretti. Down the far boards. Nogueira not playing conservative with a shutout at stake, and then scoops it up. He's already advanced past his own red line before this. He's playing more liberally with that lead than thinking about the shutout. Here's Wright. 1:40 to play to Gamara. Broken up by Willie Milano. Dallas coming back. Nogueira shut out this Dallas team 1-0 last year, Game 7 of that series. Segota had the only goal in that one. Milano back to Kevin Smith. Here comes Snyder. Taken down by Lanasour. That's going to be 2 minutes. Well, if Nogueira is going to get a shutout, he's going to have to depend on the penalty killing unit to get him through. Lanasour will go off. But the game itself, the outcome is not in doubt. And in our last televised game, we saw San Diego fans headed for the exits to the parking lot. They're doing that now, but for a different reason, and a lot more are staying in their seats. You're more likely, even if there's a big traffic jam, to stay in your seats when your team is winning than when they're losing. Tattoo will put it in play. Better than 7,600 fans in attendance tonight. They sound louder than the 9,000 that were here in Game 3. It's almost like the fans here say, hey, we don't have as many as the other night. We got to make up for it. San Diego leads at 4-0. They've had a magnificent effort, the kind of effort that they've needed. All in all, this is the best game they've played in this series. It could be Dallas's worst, although I didn't see Game 1, and I was told, and looking through the box scores, you could tell that Dallas did not have a good game in Game 1. But since then, you know, Dallas has played well here in 2 games. Can't say that they've played well tonight, but I don't think it's so much Dallas as it was San Diego that played well. It's a fine line. Here's Tattoo, right across to Ferretti. Off the boards, Carpin, blocked by Nogueira. Carpin tried another whack at it. He got called for a dangerous play. Nogueira's looking at the bench. They want a timeout, is what he's saying. Apparently not. Clock is stopped on that foul. Now Nogueira gets his 5-second count. Lobbing it, which kills more time than the more direct straight throw. And right now they're trying to kill off the penalty. Cacho right across. Ralph Black is there. Black giving up right side. Cacho. And now it is Carpin. Ferretti coming down with Quinn on it. In the corner, right across. Carpin is blocked by Nogueira. Oh, Nogueira wants to shut out now. Tattoo. Shutout's over. They waved it off. Waved off the goal. I believe a whistle may have sounded before it, and they're calling dangerous play. I didn't hear a whistle, but it probably
You'll see on the replay here as Ferretti takes a shot off the boards. The ball's loose. Carpin takes an extra couple swipes at it, and you'll see him kick his leg up high. There it is. There's the second foul against Carpin. So the whistle had already blown before Tattoo put the ball in the net.
We just didn't hear it, but I'm sure it did blow.
Well, Carpin was just kicking wildly.
Yeah. It was an obvious, dangerous play. Here's Tattoo. Right across to Milano. 14 seconds left. To Lawson. The doctor looking with Quinn on him. To Tattoo in the box. Gives it to Ferretti. Too high. Milano. 1 second. San Diego wins on a shutout in Game 5. A happy group of San Diego Sockers, and they should be, because San Diego has taken a 3-2 lead in this best-of-7 series. The next 2 going on to Dallas. Victor Nogueira now has 6 career shutouts, including 2 in playoff competition. But there's one of the heroes of the night, Brian Quinn. 1 goal and 3 assists for Quinn. It was a magnificent performance for Quinn, as well as the San Diego Sockers. Dallas dejected as they leave. It was all San Diego tonight. On Quinn's performance, Hermes, and a host of others, including Nogueira, San Diego back in their driver's seat. We'll be back. ESPN has been brought to you by Pepto-Bismol, the one that coats is the only one you need. And by Green Sweep. Spray your way to a tie. Kia was a magnificent win for all of these Sockers.
Well, both teams really played their hearts out, but for San Diego, as I mentioned, a little more edge to their play. They just seemed to fight a little harder in the key situations. It was really a closer game than the score would indicate.
As Noguera and company leave the field, another shutout for him. He and Papaleo brace, but it's not easy to get shutouts in this league, but Victor has 6 career shutouts.
Ryan Quinn, the man of the match, comes up with 3 assists and the empty net goal. He inspired his teammates, but you look at him and Kevin Crowe and Wad Hermes, they're the ones that do it for the Sockers in the playoff.
And Quinn and Hermes will need to be the focal points when the series shifts to Dallas for games 6 and 7. But game 5 is history, and the Sockers win it by the score of 4-0. For Ty Keogh, I'm John Paul Della Camera. So long, everyone, from San Diego, California. Tonight's game has been a presentation of Bud Sports through the facilities of ESPN.